Have you ever felt like your daily commute is less of a drive and more of a video game, but one with very, very real consequences? Well, today we're diving into a first-person story about driving through a massive construction zone, and it tells us something really interesting and honestly kind of scary about how we all behave on the road.
This line right here, it just nails it. It's not just about getting from point A to point B, it's become a high-stakes obstacle course. That perfectly captures the feeling, doesn't it? That constant tension where a simple drive feels like you're navigating a minefield.
So we're going to break down just one 10-minute slice of a single drive. That's it. But in that tiny window of time, our driver had two incredibly close calls. Two moments that show a pattern of behavior that is, well, it's pretty wild.
And look at this on a timeline. The first incident is at 3:42 p.m. The second one? Just 10 minutes later. That's what's so nuts about this whole thing. The danger isn't some rare event. It's just this constant background noise of chaos.
Okay, so let's get into that first near miss. It all goes down at a flyover construction site. Just try to picture it. A total mess of temporary roads, patches of new pavement, and super tight spaces.
So here's the layout. Our author's car is waiting to make a turn. There's another car right behind him, and a motorcycle is squeezed into the gap on his left. And that gap, it's barely 2 feet. I mean, that is an incredibly tight and vulnerable spot to be in.
And here's the moment it all happens. As the car begins its turn, the motorcyclist doesn't wait. He just goes for it, mounting the pedestrian footpath like it's his own personal passing lane. The author's description, airbrushed, is just perfect. It tells you exactly how close this was. We're talking millimeters.
And you know what the craziest part is? The only thing that kept this from being a serious accident was the slow speed. Because of all the traffic, both of them were creeping along at less than 30 kilometers an hour. That slow-moving congestion was literally the only thing that saved them. Any faster, and this is a totally different story.
All right, so on to the second incident. And remember, we're still inside that same 10-minute window. The driver is now near a tech park, a much more modern-looking area. But the danger is about to pop up all over again.
So this time, it's a white taxi. The traffic is heavy, but everyone's in line, moving in an orderly way. And then this taxi driver just decides, nope, not for him. He swings out and passes so close that he misses the car's bumper by a single inch.
But it wasn't just about our driver, right? This one move created this chain reaction of chaos. The taxi nearly takes out a motorcyclist, forcing that rider to swerve like crazy, and the result? You've got multiple cars slamming on their brakes, the sound just echoing off the buildings. It's absolute anarchy, all from one person's impatience.
So, after scares like that, once your heart stops pounding, you start to think. And our driver realized these weren't just two random unlucky moments. No, they were symptoms of a much bigger problem with how we all think about sharing the road.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Are these just two bad drivers, or is something bigger happening here? Is there some fundamental flaw in our collective road sense? The author argues, yeah, there is. And those two near misses, they're Exhibit A and Exhibit B. He boils it all down to three huge flaws in our driving culture. First, this habit of just taking over pedestrian spaces. Second, something he calls the inches mindset. And third, a really weird thing called the speed paradox. The last two are super interesting, so let's zoom in on those.
I think this idea of the inches mindset is absolutely brilliant. It's this belief that if your car can physically squeeze into a gap, then you should go for it. It's treating a public road like a Formula One track, pulling these high-risk moves to save, maybe 3 seconds? It's the perfect way to describe what we just saw.
And that leads us to this incredible irony, the speed paradox. The very thing we all hate, those miserable traffic jams, might just be the one thing preventing more deadly accidents. It's wild, right? That gridlock is basically acting like an accidental safety feature, protecting us from our own worst instincts.
So, when you put this all together, what does it add up to? Well, it points to this massive and genuinely dangerous disconnect that's happening on our roads right now.
Think about it like this. On one side, we are building these amazing, world-class, 21st century highways. But on the other side, our driving habits are completely stuck in the past. It's like we've got the latest, fastest computer, but we're trying to run it on ancient, buggy software.
And that leaves us with a pretty unsettling question to chew on. What happens when all this construction is finally done and these brand new world-class highways are finally wide open? If our driving habits don't change, could having a clear, open road actually become more dangerous? That's a sobering thought.